Welcome to the DemiTalks show, a show for the dreamer. I hope you guys have been having an amazing week. So, this week I have an amazing guest, and I wrote you an intro.
Aww.
Because I write all my guest intros.
Oh my gosh,
and I want you to know that I studied you. Okay?
Wow, okay,
okay, you ready? Okay. So, this guest is a testament to the power of perseverance. She held trust in the reality of what tracing a dream truly is. She has been candid and vulnerable about sharing her experience of pursuing medicine, which began with her 6 attempts and has turned into having her name permanently engraved in her university. Her passion and dedication has allowed her to build an online community of over 300,000 people. And she's been working with some renowned brands such as Apple, TikTok, Notable. Her community looks to her for guidance, inspiration, and most importantly, the truth. Through many hurdles and waiting periods, she never gave up on herself. She stood the test of time, and now she is experiencing what was on the other side of rejection. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Aghogho.
Hi guys! That was such a sweet intro.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Did you like it? I really wanted you to feel.
I'm so flattered. Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, you really did your research, so I'm like, gosh.
I do a bit of stalking. I'm like, what's really going on?
You're
with
a good stalker.
Yeah.
Hopefully for good reasons.
Yeah. No, you need me for anything. If you need me to find someone,
you're gonna be my girl.
Yeah,
okay.
Trust me. So how are you doing, Aghogho? How are you doing this week?
I'm doing good. I'm back to placement this week, so. Yes. I had like a month off for Christmas, and it's always good to have time to like just relax and wind down.
Yes.
But yeah, back to the hospital.
How was it getting back into the hospital? I feel like this time of year is like, what day is it? What date is it? Like, what's going on?
Like, it's crazy because obviously January just started, so like I'm still trying to like settle into the new year, into 2025. Yeah. But I don't know. It's nice to be back. It's nice for something to push me back into routine. Yes. And I'm excited for the semester ahead.
In terms of hospitals, are you happy with where they put you?
Yeah, I am. So what they usually do is they mix us up between a variety of hospitals. So sometimes we're in the bigger ones, sometimes we're in the smaller ones. Okay. But they've started me in a smaller one, which is nice because then it's not too intense immediately. Yeah. And you get to know people. Exactly. Yeah, and people smile at you, and that doesn't always happen in like super big hospitals because it's just such a crazy environment. True. But,
have you gotten like comfortable to the hustle and bustle of the hospital environment? Like, are you used to it by now?
I'd say yes. Yeah. I feel like the type of person I am very go, and I like it that way. Yeah. Like I said it to someone earlier today actually, I feel like I thrive under stress, which is,
Really?
I know, it's probably not that healthy, I'm not gonna lie, but I do thrive under high-paced environments where I'm extremely busy and I don't have time to like eat.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Now. Get your food
it's not too good.
Get your food in.
I wouldn't recommend it, but it's just my personality type.
Okay, speaking of fast and working under pressure, I have a game for you.
Oh, okay.
A nice quick icebreaker, okay?
Yeah.
So this is on the spot.
Oh, jeez, I'm
all right. No, don't worry. It's all about you. It's all about you. Okay. So basically, I'm going to ask you questions. It's basically like fill in the gap.
Okay.
So I'll be speaking in terms of I's and me, but it's really you. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then there'll be a gap at the end, and you just give me the first thing that comes to your mind on the spot.
Okay. The first thing.
Like the first word.
Okay.
Okay. The first thing I do when I need a break from studying is
go on my phone. It's not good. It's not good.
Listen, I'm still doom scrolling. I need help with that.
Same.
Okay. The best part of building an online community is
getting to impact people.
Yes. That's amazing. Okay. If I wasn't pursuing medicine, I'd probably be
a videographer.
No way! You're into visuals.
I am.
Oh my god! Like, I would have never known that about you. Because I know you're a fashion girl now.
A little bit.
I know you be putting that on. I know you be putting it on now. Mm-hmm. Okay, video. I like that. Yeah. I too like visuals. Really? I like them. I do. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So, the word that best describes my story is.
Perseverance. I think just like you said at the start, maybe that's why that word is in my head, but I think perseverance. Yes. If I could phrase it in a different way, if you gave me like a 5-word thing, I would probably just say the what happens when you don't give up.
Yes, I love that. I do love that. Okay, so the hardest part about balancing a medical career and social media is?
The hardest part about balancing medical career and social media, making time for myself.
Yeah. Because you really wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
And you really juggle a lot.
I do. Yeah. And it can be difficult at times because like I feel like when other people are shutting down, I'm shutting on for something else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people maybe finish the day of medical school, they finish studying for the day, and then they can relax and watch TV. Yeah. Whereas as soon as I turn off my medical brain, I'm turning on my social media brain. And I need to find a way to prioritize a bit more me time so that I don't burn out. Do you know what I mean?
What do you like to do like in your me time? What makes you
what makes
you de-stress?
Running.
Okay. Yeah. Now, guys, she's a running queen. Yeah.
Very recent.
You be on your runs now.
This is a very recent hobby.
No, I'm proud of you. You've been keeping going.
No, like I said it to myself basically summer last year. Since summer, I was like, I really want to pick up like more sporty activity to do as a hobby and something non-competitive, because like my nature is to be quite like, if I do something, I'm trying to measure it. I'm trying to track it. And I feel like for something to be de-stressing, it cannot be something that you're measuring.
Exactly.
So I was like, choose something like running, and I love it. It de-stresses me so much. I literally went on a run right before
you came
heading here. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
you are really on the ball.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Because I'm learning how to be consistent in things and sticking to things. It's actually something I'm bad at. I'm bad at sticking to things.
Yeah, I would say I'm the same as well, though, or like generally. But I think that's why I'm doing something like this, to train myself into becoming more consistent. Because it's not like you wake up one day and you're able to do things consistently.
Exactly.
It starts with the small things, doing 5 minutes of this every day, and all of a sudden it kind of compounds over time. That's what I think.
That's been me with reading.
Okay.
Yeah, because now I read fictional books now. Yeah. Because I used to be trying to, let me read self-help. Let me try to fix myself. No. Now I'm into like fictional books.
Really?
So now I make sure I read at least 15 minutes before bed.
Wow,
read every day.
That's so good.
Because I saw something that said like if you want to build trust within yourself, you have to show up, because that's how you build trust with other people.
Exactly.
So you need to do the same for yourself, right?
Exactly. What are like any book recommendations? Because I'm trying to read more as well.
So right now I've been trying to really read Black authors as well. So I'm reading Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan.
Oh, I haven't heard of it. It's
very nice. Okay. I think you'll enjoy that. I'm kind of reading at the same time, but I'm not giving as much attention to this one. It's called Neighbor Favor.
Okay.
And it's basically like two neighbors that end up falling in love. Yeah. It's in the title.
Nice.
Yeah, so those are the two that I'm like juggling right now.
You're reading both at the same time.
Yeah, because I'm
trying to be like you.
Yeah, but I am neglecting Neighbor Favor.
Okay.
I'm neglecting it. I'll be honest. Because the other one is like, ooh, the tea. The other one actually, I feel like I can visualize the book as I'm reading it.
Oh,
so I feel like that's why I'm enjoying it more.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Look at how we got sidetracked. Oh my God.
Sorry.
That's what I be doing. Okay, so if I could partner with any dream brand, it would be. Or did you do it already?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, actually, no. Okay, so I would have said Apple, but I work with Apple. Thanks be to God. Like, they're one of my favorite people to partner with.
It's amazing.
Thank you. But I think actually Chanel. Yeah.
You be putting that ish on now. Chanel. Reach
Chanel,
out to my girl. Reach out to my girl. No, I see it. I see it. I do see it.
That's a compliment.
I do see it. No, absolutely. I love that.
I like to dream big.
No, I like that about you. So, and I feel like it shows. The results have come through.
One day you'll see me working with Chanel, guys.
Yes, amen. Okay, so two more.
Okay.
A guilty pleasure that always cheers me up is?
Eating popcorn with chocolate.
Oh, do you put the chocolate in?
Yeah, like I break up like the pieces of chocolate, and then but I do it in a very specific way.
Okay, tell me.
So like basically, I get my bowl of. It's so funny how I do this. I get my bowl.
Yes.
I put like 3 pieces of chocolate at the bottom.
Okay.
And then I pour part of the popcorn.
Yes.
And then I put another layer of chocolate. And then I keep going and keep going so that the chocolate has space to melt.
That's what I would like them to do in the cinema. But they don't do that.
No, they don't.
Because I like Smarties in my popcorn. I like Maltesers and stuff like that.
I'm a Maltesers and popcorn.
So I wish that they would put a bit of popcorn, then put some in.
Yeah.
Put my earring came off, Put the rest of the popcorn and then put the rest of the chocolate.
Yeah.
That's what I wish that they would do.
Cinemas, please listen. Like, I don't know why they don't do that. Like, honestly, I would like that as well. I'm big. I won't eat popcorn without chocolate.
No, me
like, it's become that type of habit.
I am very much a sweet and savory type of person. I like them together. Yeah. Okay, girl, the last one.
Okay.
The most rewarding part of pursuing medicine is
getting to speak to patients.
Wow. I'm sure you've heard a lot.
I have.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a privilege to be able to see the vulnerable sides of human life. Like, genuinely, my absolute favorite part is the part when I'm interacting with people, hearing their stories and, like, I don't know, it changes how I see life as a whole. So it's such a privilege, and I'm grateful for it.
And I'm sure you've seen, like, how fickle life is, like the brevity of life. I'm sure you've seen that a lot.
Absolutely. And like, you can't predict what tomorrow is like. It's one of the reasons why I've decided, like, my main resolution of this year is health and fitness, because of what I've seen over the past year. I'm like, I can't take this body for granted anymore.
Child, please, I need some of that to fall onto me, please, because I need to. I had a good, like, gym routine last year for a good few months, and then it just fickled because I think I need to find, like, movement that I like.
Okay.
Like working out that I like to do instead of just going to the gym every day.
Okay.
I do like swimming.
Yeah.
A
really?
lot. Yeah.
Wow.
I do like swimming. I love being in the water. Really?
And I've gone to swimming lessons like
Did
about
they make
4
you do
times.
it? Did they make you do it in primary school?
No, but my mom brought me to swimming lessons. But I think at the same time, I love you, Mom, but like she would tell me, don't go to the deep end. Oh, you can't learn to swim if you don't go to the deep end.
They always do that.
So I think there's like a part of my brain that associates swimming with fear, and that's why I can't swim, even though I've tried so many times.
No, a lot of people cannot swim. When I went on a holiday with the girls, I was the one saying, get in the water right now and stop playing. But anyway, okay, that was the game. So I feel like I know you a bit more.
Yeah, and I know you a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay, I hope you guys are getting to know Aghogho a bit more. Okay, so I have been a huge admirer of your journey.
Oh, thank you.
And you know, we go back a bit from college days. You know, I don't know if you started in 2016, did you? Or 2017? Okay, so it's 8 years for you this year.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking, how in God's name is it 9 years this year that since I started uni? Yeah. It doesn't feel like that, but I feel like COVID stole a lot of the years.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
But anyway, I've seen you grow. I've seen you blossom in a lot of ways. And as I was stalking you, as you know, I be stalking, I saw that your pursuit to medicine started at the age of 16. Can you talk to me a bit about how that flourished? How did that come to you? Were you one of those girls that was like playing with medicine equipment, or how did it come to you?
Yeah, so funny story. I was one of those people that have like pictures of them at 4 years old with a stethoscope in their hand, trying to listen to a teddy bear. I wasn't that kid. I was actually the type of kid, and I guess it kind of reflects in who I am now. I wanted to be everything. So I remember there was a time when I was in primary school, and I wrote a list of everything I wanted to be. Yeah. Now this is strange because most people would just write one thing on that list, and I had about 24 things. Oh my God. Like I was like, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a ballerina, I wanted to be an astronaut.
You sound like me.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I believed that I could be all of those things. Yeah. But how medicine came about was basically, very funny story. I was in secondary school at the time, in like second year, so I was about 14 years old, and I was best friends with a girl at the time, and we were just walking down the corridor in school one day, and she was like, I want to be a pediatric oncologist when I grow up. And I was like,
she knew words.
She knew words. Exactly. Because my next response was, what is that? Yeah.
Hold on, girl.
What the heck is that? And so she was like, oh, it's like a doctor that takes care of children that have cancer.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow, really
See, I didn't know the oncologist part.
Do you know what I mean? These are hard.
You just taught me something.
Words.
Yeah.
So I went home that day and I started looking up pediatric oncologist. Okay. And it led me into a rabbit hole of all the different specialties of medicine. And I was like, this is an interesting career. And at the time, I really, really, really liked science. It was my favorite subject in school,
wow,
and probably
really?
my best subject. Yeah,
oh, really?
And I realized that medicine was kind of science and helping people put
yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And so essentially what I did was I was like, do you know what? I quite like this. And at the time, even till now, I was really, really interested in nutrition and dietetics.
Yeah.
And I started like since I was young, I've been trying to eat healthy and like
That's
aim
good.
for healthy snacks rather than unhealthy ones. So I realized that in a few years with the way diet is going right now, as in 10 years ago, because I was like 15 at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, a lot of people are going to have heart problems in the future.
Absolutely.
Because the diet is so poor.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know, I want to help the people that have heart problems. I want to be a cardiologist, which is like a heart doctor.
Okay, so you wanted to be a do you still want to, are you still interested in cardiology?
No, enough,
oh my god,
so
see how we change.
I know, see how we...
Hey guys, if you're enjoying the episode so far, please subscribe. It'll mean so much to me. Also leave a like and a comment if you're feeling funky, and share it with a friend. Okay, bye, enjoy the episode.
Change, but that's literally the reason I pursued medicine, because of my love of nutrition, science, and helping people all together.
And it's crazy how a conversation can just spark something.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
Imagine I never spoke to her about that.
Right. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you.
Know? Now, your journey has not been linear, Aghogho. There's been a lot that you've had to persevere through.
Yeah.
So, in beginning your journey into medicine, did you go for the first time, like, as you're pursuing your leaving cert? How was it?
Okay, so I originally wanted to study medicine in the UK.
Okay.
And in the UK, it's kind of a different system if you're applying as an Irish applicant. So what I did was, in 5th year, or even prior to starting 5th year, I had done all the reading as to essentially what's required to get into a UK medical school. Okay. There's no doctors in my family or nobody who studied in the UK that I knew, so I was figuring out...
So you were figuring out on your own?
All by myself at 15. And I realized that basically it was going to go off of my predicted grades in 5th year, because I needed to apply by the beginning of 6th year or the end of 5th year. So what I did was I started preparing for it like as soon as junior cert ended. Like, you know, usually in leaving cert, people start like using past papers in 6th year. Yeah. I bought my past papers at the start of 5th year, and I was going through them by myself. You were on it. Like, I remember going to my maths teacher and be like, I'm trying to get a H1 in maths. And so he was like, you know what, if you're serious about this, get a past paper book and start going through it yourself. And whenever you have any difficulty, come to me. So sometimes I'd stay behind after school and go through stuff like that with him, just so that I could improve my 5th year grade, so that I would essentially have enough grades to get into medicine in the UK. And that's about how it started. So
was it still like on a pointing system, like you had to have a certain amount of points to get in?
But the thing is, for the UK, because I was an Irish applicant, they weren't so much about points. It was more about your grades in individual subjects. So they were looking for you to get like 6 or 7 A's, like H1s.
Oh my goodness.
They didn't care about points. They were like, you need, so basically they were looking for a perfect leaving cert.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so the pressure was really on from the very, very beginning.
Okay, so we know first attempt, it didn't go as you had hoped.
Yes.
Did you ever see for yourself after that you would be where you are today? Hell no. Never. Did you kind of close that door?
I didn't.
Okay. It was in there still.
Yeah, it was in there. And that was because, like, basically I had a safe first 3 attempts, because like I said, I was trying to get into the UK, meaning I had to take 2 entrance exams, because I applied to Cambridge, and that required the BMAT exam, as well as some other unis in the UK that I applied to. And then most medical schools in the UK required an exam called the UCAT, or the UK CAT. So I sat both of those within like a couple of months between each other. Those were my first 2 attempts. And then when when my scores in those exams weren't great, I was basically like, cool, the Irish exam is there for the HPAT. I'll sit that. So basically I had 3 safe attempts. But once my HPAT, aka my 3rd attempt, didn't go well, it was like, oh, now what do we do? Because I have to go to uni in September. And this hasn't worked out. And I still remember to this day breaking down on my bedroom floor when I got my HPAT results, because I was like, even if I get 625 points, because we get the results for the HPAT before the leaving cert results, I was like, even if I get 65, I'm not going to get into medicine. And I had like all of these college prospectus books, and I literally was flicking through them like, what am I supposed to do with my life now? And so I would have never imagined that things were going to work out in the way that they did. I was devastated.
Oh my God. And you know what, with that devastation and rejection, having to feel through that feeling or settle within yourself that feeling of rejection, how were you able to do that but still see a light for yourself when you eventually did go for it again?
Rejection is a funny one, because it's super easy to equate rejection to your identity.
Absolutely.
And I believe I did that at the beginning. I won't say I was the type of person that persevered the entire time and felt like, you know what, I'm gonna make it. No, I gave up on medicine midway. Like, I remember telling my dad, like, look, forget this medicine thing. I'm gonna either do a PhD so I can be a lecturer, or else I'm gonna study dentistry instead. And he was like, no, don't give up the med thing, you're gonna eventually get in. But I was like, I basically, because of the failures that I had consistently experienced, I developed a really deep fear of it. A deep fear of failure that wouldn't even have me think about attempting to sit another exam. Like, I was like, I'm not doing it because it makes me feel so small about myself. I mean, I had friends who literally told me they didn't study for the HPAT, and yet they got it.
Oh my God.
But me, who's been preparing for the past 2 years, I study and nothing happens. It was really, really discouraging for me.
And what, like, obviously it's different to say it now because you're on the other side. But what would you say? Can you learn from rejection? Is there something to be learned there?
100%. I think, like, obviously, like you said, it's easier in hindsight looking back at things. But I feel like what I learned from rejection was that, or what I realized from rejection is, you have a choice as to your perspective, right? You can choose whether to see a rejection and see it as something that should define you, or see it as just an experience that you can take notes from and change your approach going forward. So I started assessing, why do I keep failing these exams that I'm taking to get into medicine? And I realized that, for example, I wasn't giving myself enough time. And even the preparation I was doing, it was very like half-hearted. And being able to look back and think, okay, instead of this being a life-altering experience, just be critical. What mistakes could you make, or have you been making, and what can I do to change them going forward? And I think that's how rejection should be dealt with as a whole. Like, do not equate rejection to your identity.
Don't personalize it.
Don't personalize it, because I think it's funny, when I sat my last exam, so my 6th exam to get into medicine, it was the first time I had ever sat an exam without the fear of failure. I remember the day I sat that exam, I said to myself, even if it takes me 10 more times to get into medicine, I'll do it 10 more times. And that happened to be the exam that I passed. Like,
I love that. I love that. And I love that confidence in you. And I want to ask you about when you actually crossed that line, you got in on that attempt. Do you then deal or face a sort of imposter syndrome when you get in there?
Boy, oh God.
It got you. It got you. Oh my God. Tell me about it.
Imposter syndrome. I feel like until today, it's still something I deal with.
Really?
And
wow.
I would call myself a very self-confident person, actually. I wouldn't say that I'm insecure in particular ways, but imposter syndrome, absolutely. Because first of all, you enter a field where half of the class, their parents are doctors.
Okay.
You don't come from a background where you have that. You know what I mean? They understand things through experience. I only understand them because I've been taught it from a book. So what's common sense to one person is absolutely like abstract to me. And I think, of course, like, when I got in as well, I mean, I always knew I was hardworking because even prior to getting into medicine, I got scholarships. I got multiple scholarships awarded to me.
Period. She has scholarships.
Oh God, but like, I knew I was smart, so I knew that intelligence wasn't the problem. But it was more of a thing of, is this for me? Like, if I'm intelligent in other aspects, but the one thing I want to do, I'm not, like, I'm struggling in. Like, is this really for me? And at the time, I had just started my social media. This was
we're gonna get into it.
This was September 2022. And I was getting hate. and that made the imposter syndrome like so much worse, because I was taking
you were being vulnerable online and they were giving you hate.
Yeah. Like, people were saying stuff like, you're only there because of affirmative action, which doesn't even exist in Ireland.
In Ireland, yeah, that's such an American thing.
Exactly. But people were saying stuff like that. People were saying things like, I wouldn't trust somebody like you to be my doctor because you failed the first few times getting in. And that really started to get to me, like,
oh my God,
like quite badly. But then I got my grades for my first semester, and I was
it was like,
yeah, I was like, please.
F y'all.
Like,
oh my God. Me, yeah. No, but I can only imagine, you know, because like I said, you haven't had a linear journey, but you had a journey that you persevered through. And I feel like, you know, it's important that you highlight the ebbs and flows of what it is when you're chasing this thing, you know. So I even wanted to ask you to pivot a little bit into social media. What inspired you in that 2022 to pick up that phone, get on, was it TikTok? Or was, I know you had a YouTube channel. You have one.
I still have it.
Yeah. So what inspired you?
On it.
No, listen. Long form content is hard now.
Seriously.
It'd be hard. What inspired you? Okay, I'll say, what inspired you to share your story online?
Okay.
Yes.
Good question. Okay, first of all, I knew that TikTok was booming because prior to getting into medicine, I was working in a marketing agency from January to September, aka when I got in.
Yes.
And I was a social media manager there.
I remember that.
Yeah,
yes,
so
I remember
it was
that.
a short job, but I had to do a lot of reading and research into how social media platforms are performing, and I saw that TikTok was outperforming Google as a search engine. So I was like, this is a platform people need to be on, even businesses. And so what I did was, I was like, look, here's an opportunity, and I really believe in the time sensitivity of opportunities. I believe that if you don't take opportunities at a sensitive time, you miss it forever, and you can't do anything about it. So I was like, cool. TikTok is at its early stages. It's like the YouTube, like, remember the early stages of YouTube?
Oh, those days.
Do you know the sweet days?
Yeah,
right?
I love it.
So I was like, it's at the early stages. I can get something from this if I start. And also, I knew that there was an audience for medical students because I followed medical students on like YouTube. And so that kind of inspired me. And then honestly, sharing my story kind of happened by accident. Like, I didn't really intend to. I think I didn't know the power of my story, if I'm going to be very honest with you. I didn't. I remember the first video I had that went viral that started getting my page growing. I made that video in like maybe 20 minutes on the bus on the way home from college. And I didn't think too long about it. I had seen it was like a trend going around as to sharing my journey. So I was like, oh, let me hop on that trend. And I shared it. And the comments started flowing, and people were like, I just broke down crying, like looking at this TikTok, and people, like, they were saying such deep things. And that's when I was like, wait a second. Like,
something's happening here.
Something is happening here. And I started getting like really serious DMs from people. And it made me realize that, oh my gosh, my story is helping people.
Yeah, there was a need for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you feel like you fit, like, do you feel like, because you saw the medical students really being online, you used to watch people online, but do you feel like there was a bit of a gap for someone like you who was going to be very vulnerable and raw and real? Because I feel like with your video, something that I noticed is that you don't sugarcoat. You tell the truth.
As it is.
You actually had a video that inspired me.
Really?
I'll tell you. Yes, you talked about, basically, you talked about you have to do the journey. I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about. You were in your car and you were like, you can't avoid the journey of things. Like, you can't jump from here to the finished result. You have to go through. And as someone who always wants instant gratification, it's actually my favorite thing. It sat with me, and I was like, you know what? I actually have to go through things. Even with what I'm doing now. Because I would always imagine it in my head. Like, I would imagine where I see myself, but no, people... Even that brings me to my next question. People see where you are now. They see how you are in medical school now. They see, you know, the combined 300,000 followers online. They see what you've been able to build, and they kind of want to emulate that. They see that, and they're, I won't say envying, but they're looking to your current without really knowing the journey. You know, that's part of it. So what would you tell people about having to persevere through a journey? Like, having to stick with it?
Okay. This is a very, very helpful question, I think. I think what I would say to people is you need to believe in yourself enough to see it through.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you don't have belief in yourself, the journey will never make sense. The process will never make sense. Like, for example, if I enter my car now, the only thing that will motivate me to keep driving is if I have a destination in mind and I believe I'm going to get there. For example, when I was coming here, like, do you know what I mean? If I was just aimlessly driving, I wouldn't have bothered in the first place. Or I would say, I beg, let me just turn back and go home. You have to believe that you are going to get to the destination and be absolutely convinced about it. Like, I think one thing I can credit myself for is I've always had crazy self-belief. Like, even in situations in life that should not have allowed me to have that type of belief in myself, I've just had this crazy self-belief. And for that reason, when I set out to do a thing, I know it's going to be successful, even if it takes 10 years. Because people don't realize I started posting videos online in 2015.
Oh, wow. It's been a journey.
Exactly. They see the 2022 and they're like, wow, she's growing so quickly, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you guys didn't see the 7 years where there was nobody watching my videos, nobody listening. Do you know what I mean? And like, same thing with medicine. People just see you as a medical student. They don't see the 6 attempts that came before that. And so I feel like to people who are struggling with going through a journey and not being able to see the end point, like I said, believe in yourself, but also commit.
Back it up.
Like, forget
back up
this
that
whole
belief.
thing of motivation. You need to be committed.
Ooh, you're talking to me.
Like, look,
keep
you
going.
need to be committed. It's not enough to say, I'm just going to do this when I feel like it. Nobody gets far with that mindset at all. You have to be able to go through on the days when you feel like it, the days when you don't, the days when it's hard, the days when you're crying. You do it no matter what. Even this thing I'm doing, like with running, for example. I decided at the beginning of this year, cool, I'm going to start running every single day for 15 minutes. I know it's not huge, but I chose to set small, sustainable goals. And after like 4 days, it started snowing in this country, right? And there was ice.
You couldn't even pry me out of my bed.
Like, it was so cold. As in, I would take deep breaths in, and my lungs would be like screaming at me. Like, but I was like, I committed to this. Like, there's no choice. It's a commitment, and I think that's
what is your personality type? Do you know it?
As in, like, A.
Are you an A?
I'm type A. Like 100.
You are absolutely a type A. I think I am a B. I think I might be A, B / I need to do it again.
Okay.
I need to do it again. But you are giving me type A. I'm like,
I like the definition of type A.
Oh,
and
my
it's so funny because I used to think I was type B.
Okay.
And I remember my friend, I said it on my story once, and my friend replied me like,
girl,
like, are you serious?
No, you're giving me type A for real. No, but I love that for real. And do you have a business or product that you're launching soon that you would like to share with the world? Or maybe you're a musician that's coming out with a new album or single. Hit me up on the DemiTalks show Instagram or at our email address that will be on the screen for a chance to be featured in one of my upcoming episodes. Bye. And you know what, Aghogho? Are you enjoying the fruits of your labor? Now, because I've seen you on the flights now. You be traveling now. You be on the brand trips. You be on business. You be in the business class flights. So, I was saying it in Katie's episode, like, a lot of the stuff that people are accomplishing here in Ireland is unprecedented. We haven't been. So I want you to soak that in. Not to make your head blow, but to really like take in the fact that you're doing stuff that you didn't have a blueprint for. I think it's really big, in this country, because I was saying it to David, like their podcast, where's your head at, like what they were able to do with it. We haven't seen it being done. And then there's you. You're the first of your kind doing this kind of stuff. So a brand trip. Talk to me about getting was Notable the first one?
Yes.
Okay,
Notability.
talk to Notability.
Yes.
My bad, guys.
No, it's okay.
Talk to me about Notability. Like, how was the brand trip? You went to America, didn't you?
Yeah.
Talk
it was
to me
Texas,
about it.
and like, first of all, thank you so much for saying that, because I think like sometimes you get so used to like just going and going that you don't stop to reflect on what life has been or the changes that you've undergone. And I think sometimes I kind of underplay the things that have happened for me, so I'm very grateful. So basically it's actually insane. So this time last year, 2024 January, I remember me and my best friend, we do this thing where at the beginning of the year we discuss goals so that we have accountability with each other.
I love that.
And so I said, like, I was telling him like my goals, and then what happened was I was like, I was talking about my career goals, like social media.
Yes.
And I was like, I would like to go on a brand trip, but it's too unrealistic. I didn't even write it down as a goal. So I just said it in conversation. And I was like, but in my niche doesn't really happen. Like maybe if I was more fashion and beauty, but I was like, that would be nice in an ideal world. Like I genuinely thought it was not possible.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 weeks later, I get this email from Notability like, hey, we want you to join our Scribble Squad, because that's the thing. Exactly.
Oh my God.
And they were like, we will fly you to the US to meet everybody, and we'll have like just this fun day of like launching the program and the Scribble Squad program.
Yes.
And I remember it like, I just remember the shock, because it was like, God, like,
that's insane. No, it's
insane.
I want to say it again, unprecedented. Who's done that? I want you to know, like, you're laying the blueprint for other people to know it can be done.
That's actually very humbling.
No, you really are. Like, to see you on a brand trip in Texas, Austin. Was it Austin? Austin, Texas. That is insane. So how do you feel when you're there?
Oh my gosh, like crazy. Because first of all, it was like my first time traveling internationally by myself, especially long haul. Like,
and I hate flying.
Do you like flying? Like, I actually don't mind it. I feel like I don't mind it, but I know a lot of people don't. Like, my mom hates flying. But it was crazy, like navigating that place all by myself. Obviously, America is a whole different world. The culture is different. The environment, Texas, everything in Texas is big. Like, they're not lying about that. The roads are huge. The buildings are huge. The cars are huge. But it was such a beautiful experience. Like, one thing I really like about Texas is the hospitality there is insane. Like, in my life, I've never come across such hospitable people. They're so polite, so kind.
I feel like Americans really have like that manner thing going on.
They really do, especially in like the southern states of America. But it was so surreal. Genuinely, I remember like when I even met
me
the
watching
other
it. I'm sorry to interrupt
like,
you, but me watching, I was like, there's no way. Like, I was watching the videos, I was like, this is insane. Sorry, go on. It's tickling me to hear that.
When I got to meet the other creators, because there wasn't many of us from Europe. Maybe there was like 3 altogether from Europe. Everyone else was from North America and Canada. And that's when it came into perspective for me as to this, like, the opportunity that was being given to me. Because I was like, why me? Like, everyone else had got it. Some people literally had driven because of that's how close they lived to Austin. But they found me in Dublin, Ireland. And they said, we must work with this girl. Like, the entire thing was just like, it feels like a movie, and I'm still friends with some of the girls that I met over there as well. Like, so
and you've been using Notability. Is that what you use on your iPad? Like the study planning stuff. Is that part of it?
Literally.
No, because I see you using that iPad now. You put your iPad to work. You said iPad. You are gonna work, and but that put Apple's eyes on you now. Now tell me about Apple.
Okay, so funny enough, like, basically I posted a video. It was like, again, January of maybe 2 years prior. And I was opening my med school results for my first semester, and I just decided to film myself doing it.
You're brave.
I wasn't gonna. You're brave. Trust me, I wasn't gonna post it if the results were bad. Delete.
No, thank God.
But I got my raw reaction, and very thankful to my friends. Basically, like, before I got into med school, the year before, they had gifted me an iPad for my birthday. Like, 20 of them came together and literally got me that, and so that's what I was using in medical school, and I was using the iPad in that video. And basically, like, a couple days after, I get an email from Apple, and that was insane. As in, I thought it was spam. Do you know what I mean? Literally, I was like, this cannot be real. And then I realized it was. And that's how we started working together. And I told myself at the beginning that I'm going to try my best to make sure that this relationship ends up long term. Because at the time, I wasn't sure. It was kind of like a type of thing. But I said to myself, like, I will say this: if I see a good opportunity, I'm not gonna waste it.
Like, you're not shy about it.
I'm not shy.
No, that's a good lesson to take away now.
Exactly. Like, because if not, somebody else will take it. Somebody else will take it.
And now you've been to the Apple HQ. You met that famous man. Sorry, what's his name?
Tim Cook, the CEO.
Period. I'm just like, no, this is absolutely outstanding.
I'm
like,
so
you have no idea. And the thing that I like about you a lot is that you speak and you're confident, but you also put in the work. And I feel like that is really big, because what you were saying, motivation won't forget motivation. You hit me. Yeah, because I'm such a feelings type of person.
Yeah,
I'm so feely.
You gotta get rid of the feelings.
I have to get rid, and amen now. So Aghogho,
yeah,
we have a lot of students, I'll say, and maybe not even Leaving Cert students. We have probably mature students. We have people all over the world who are thinking about pursuing medicine.
Okay.
Could you give them one gem about those exams?
Okay.
Is it possible to give them one gem?
Yeah. Absolutely. So medical exams all over the world tend to have some sort of similarity when it comes to admission exams. They're all different, but they're all similar in ways.
Yeah.
One thing I would say is treat it like a school subject that you're studying for. Okay. Like, not something like an exam that it's just like, oh, you know, if it goes this way, it goes that way. No, commit to studying for it. That's what I would say, and give yourself enough time, because I feel like my problem in a lot of my previous exams is that I would only give myself like maybe a month or two to study, and even within that time it would be very relaxed. Like, I wasn't very serious about it, and the time I actually got in, I basically gave myself 3 months, and I was working full time at the time as well.
Oh, wow.
So it was quite difficult. I gave myself 3 months, and I said, for 1 hour at a minimum every single day, you are going to study. And I stuck to it. And there were times I would do 2 hours if I had extra time. I would wake up early in the morning to study before going to work. And then if I had time in the evening, I would do another hour or two. So I'd say give yourself enough time, but make sure that your schedule is structured. Don't wing it. That's what I would say. Do not wing it.
And just out of curiosity, do you have a specialty?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So what
do they let you guys choose them yet?
When we graduate.
Okay.
Yeah. So after intern years, like 1 year of intern year in Ireland, then you start like branching into specialties and training programs. And all the likes.
Do you have your eye on some? You said. Okay, I'm stalking too much. Go ahead.
Okay.
Do you have your eye on?
Go ahead.
Did you say something about something to do with like face? Did you say something about that?
ENT.
Okay.
Yes, you're right.
Yes.
I'm actually not interested in going into ENT. It is my favorite surgical specialty, so you picked that up well. But I don't want to be a surgeon, hence why I'm not. If I was going to be a surgeon, I would have chosen ENT for sure. It's my favorite surgical one. I'm very interested in pediatrics. I love children. Like, I really, really love children. But I'm also more and more open to being a GP. Now,
we need them. Oh my God.
We do.
Aghogho. I was at the GP for 3.5 hours yesterday.
3.5? And
I had an appointment. I came in for my 3:30 appointment. I did not leave there until 6:45.
Wow.
Like, there's only our GP, there's only one of her. So when I see her, I don't even get upset. I'm like, I know there's only one of you. No one else. We need the GPs. We do. Oh my goodness,
so
we need the GPs.
Maybe I'll be a GP in the future.
Pediatrics. Have you watched Grey's Anatomy?
A little bit.
Okay.
A couple of episodes.
Listen, it's just a trauma dumping show. Like, I had such a connection to it, but because I wanted to be sad.
Oh my God. Oh no.
Okay, so I saw recently that you've been doing like study sessions online. Like, I love that you're pouring into people and you're really helping them. So how did your first one go?
It went super well. So that was, today is the 10th of January?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I had it on the 4th of January, so just under a week ago. And for people who don't have context, I do these study seminars called Achieve with Aghogho. And I just started, thank you. I just started this year. I'm going to be doing them every single month of the year. And
beautiful.
The reason why, like, it's completely free as well. I just do them online.
Completely free?
Yeah, completely free.
God,
there's no payment at all. And basically the reason I wanted to do is because I want to see everyone become the best version of themselves. Do you know what I mean? I've never believed in being the type of person that eats the fruit of her labor and then watches everybody else starve. No, I'm like, if I can do it, you can do it too, and you can do it even better. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build up the next generation of girls and boys to be able to pursue their dreams properly and to be able to believe in themselves. So it's really about empowering people academically as well as empowering people to believe in themselves, because I don't believe you can do one without the other, to be very honest. And so the first one very crazily sold out in like a couple of hours. Like
insane.
Almost 500 tickets.
Insane.
Which is crazy, I mean, because I actually thought that I would get maybe 20 people sign up.
No.
And I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I told myself, okay, maybe 20 people will show up to the first one, and maybe by the end of the year, I'll have like maybe 100 or 200, like by December. Yeah. But January 1, keep your expectations low. And I truly...
And it blew you out of the park.
Blew me out of the park. There was 200 and something people that ended up showing up to it. And people were literally afterwards sending me physical notes that they had taken.
That is so
people were messaging me like, please, I wasn't able to attend. Can you send me a recording? That recording on YouTube now has almost 700 views since I uploaded it last week.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, it's made me realize there is a demand for people to be able to like just get more educational tips, and it's actually my most exciting project of 2025.
I'm so excited for you. And it reminded me of what you said earlier. You were interested in lecturing.
Yeah,
it kind of tickles into that a little bit, doesn't it? And you know what I like about you? I like the duality of who you are. Because I'm also someone who always felt like I'm interested in a lot of things. Yeah. I actually don't really want to niche down that much.
Okay.
Like, I love how you are medicine, you're also social media, you're also into teaching in a way. Yeah. I really love that. Wow, and you're also an entrepreneur. So let's talk a bit about let's close us off beautifully. Yeah. Please share with us. Let me get this for you.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh, let me not now. Come on, it's an apple. Let me not break it.
Thank you.
Talk to us a little bit. You have a planner, a yearly planner, right? Do. And you just released for 2025?
Literally.
Okay.
Exactly that. Okay.
You can actually turn it so they can see the front.
So they can see.
Yes, I hope they can see it.
That properly. Okay. Yeah. So I first launched this planner actually in 2023. Not the same one.
Okay.
But very similar. And
I love the fonting that you used.
Thank you. It was something that I set my mind at the very beginning of that year to do. I was like, I want to empower people to be able to be more organized and to better be able to handle procrastination. So that's one of the big things that this planner actually does. It helps people who are struggling with procrastination. So like it has a table of contents, and it's it's like a clickable planner. So like if I choose a month here, it will go to that month.
And it works well with the iPad.
Exactly, it works really well. And then I'll show you the actual daily planning sheets. So this is what it kind of looks like.
Okay.
So we have something called 2-minute task, 15-minute task, and Pomodoro task.
Okay.
And these are all procrastination.
Now teach me that word.
Yeah.
Teach me.
Okay, so Pomodoro is basically a study technique where you focus for 25 minutes. Okay. You take a break for 5 minutes, and you keep going in repeat and repeat and repeat. Okay. And it's been proven to really help people.
Like a HIIT workout.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly
love
that.
it.
And it's amazing. Like I use it all the time when I study. So I was like, instead of just doing it for study, you can do that for all of your tasks.
Yes.
Like if you have a long task that will take you an hour or two, rather than spending 30 minutes procrastinating doing it, just put on a timer, know that you have a break coming up in 25 minutes, and work as though that break is coming closer and closer.
Okay, I
so I have that with the task. 2-minute task is based on the 2-minute rule of procrastination, which is like, if something takes you less than 2 minutes to do, just do it. Like, don't wait. And then the 15-minute task is also a very similar rule where you set a 15-minute timer. You tell yourself you're only going to do something for 15 minutes. But the way the brain works is it enters a flow state within that time. So by the time 15 minutes passes, you want to keep working on that thing. So that's how I've organized this. And then there's a schedule here as well. And
it is amazing. And you created this.
Yes, I created
that is so
the entire
good.
Thing.
Do you have a website where people can find it?
Yes, absolutely. So the website is productiveprompt.co. And it's also on my Instagram page in the bio.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you for coming, Aghogho. I hope you had a good time talking to me.
I actually really like conversations with you. Like, it's funny because when you reached out to me, I was actually really happy because I know you used to have a blog that you were writing on, and I've always seen how passionate you are about so many different things. And one thing I noticed about you early, because like you said, we go way back, years back, uni days, and I remember you've always been a person with strong opinions and very well able to express those opinions. So I think this podcast is such a great platform for you, and I'm very excited for what you end up doing.
Thank you.
I believe in you, girl.
Not you pouring it to me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so before we end, I always do a song of the week. Oh, so just whatever you're jamming to right now. Let me look at my phone briefly for mine. My song of the week, I'm gonna, because I did Wicked last week. Let me leave that alone. I'm going to say Blame You by Odile. It's from the Lostropolis EP, I think. It's a very good song, very R&B-ish, nice, short, sweet. I like it a lot. So I'm gonna say "Blame You" by
like R&B.
Yeah,
you do.
I do like it a lot. Yes.
Okay. I would say my song of the week would be "Seek First" by House Fires. It's like a gospel song, and it's like CCM type of music, I guess, like contemporary-ish music, one of my favorite genres.
Okay.
But yeah, I woke up this morning and the song was on my mind, and I literally had a praise session in the morning, like dancing. So yeah, it's really good vibes of the song, and I love that group. House Fire is one of my favorite music groups ever. It's definitely recommend.
Did they do that song? If I could be anything.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I like that song a lot.
Yeah. Alongside Aja Walls.
Yes. I like that song a lot. Okay. Period. Let's get into the gospel, guys. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming, Aghogho. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your stories. Appreciate your journey. And I don't ever want you to question yourself. I want you to know the impact. You are having an impact. I know you said that earlier. Yeah. You are definitely having an impact. You're laying the blueprint for a lot of girlies that are gonna come up behind you, and I see huge things for you, even bigger than what you've accomplished right now. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the DemiTalks show, and please always remember, dreams don't die. Bye guys.